Machine Pencil Cartography. My plan today is to discuss waterfalls, which are features that occur in riparian environments. The composition of a waterfall scene involves having a vertical displacement that resembles a cliff, and it must have a river or a stream that flows over it. The waterfall will incorporate a significant drop. As a result of this, when searching for waterfalls, we may refine our search parameters. Our search may begin by plotting the river systems in the area. We will also need to source a height map of the area. There is an examination of riverbeds called the stream gradient, which is similar to the slope of the river. For an average river, we may expect a 2.6 meter drop for every 1 kilometer in river displacement. This follows the form of rise over run, and the stream gradient is given in percentage ratio. In areas where the stream ratio begins to be very steep, these are areas where waterfalls will be more common, because this will comprise the pervasive environment surrounding the waterfall's occurrence. If you want to find a waterfall, you should find a HypsoMetric environment and look for rivers, while waterfalls will be rapidly missing in areas with little or no elevation change. The navigational considerations for waterfalls are surprising. Waterfalls are fascinating tourism spots where people will stop and will admire the beauty of the waterfall. However, we may imagine a person attempting to river walk in a waterfall, and we will quickly discover that this is less than ideal, because the large drop will be less than desirable. Not to mention that waterfalls are also a combination of very steep slopes combined with the tendency for these areas having wet surfaces. This may create a slippery slope, and people may slip and fall down the hill, because they are walking on a 30 to 60 degree inclined plane, and the ground is wet. So you can imagine how this is an inconvenient coincidence of these occurrences. The waterfall vaporizes water as it falls, and the humidity levels near the waterfall are very high. This may cause the surfaces near the waterfall to be slippery, even surfaces that are not positioned in the water's path. The water vapor will create a pollen projection covering onto the surfaces in the nearby area. The slippery slope should be considered a hazard in waterfall navigation. A typical expedition involving a waterfall will incorporate a hike in the mountains, where you will have elevation displacement, so you can use Naismith's rule and expect lots of ups and downs. You can expect to be exhausted at the end of this hike, as getting to the waterfall will be exceptionally difficult. And the river will be a welcome sight, because you can bathe in the river water, and this will offer a source of refreshment. A few warnings that I have are that waterfalls are actually considered hazardous. The risks of washout are high. If you get washed out at the top of a waterfall, you are in an immediate projective space to fall over the crest of the waterfall, and this would result in a large drop, and this could be deadly due to fall damage. At the bottom, there is a different hazard, because this large drop will also increase the water pressure, and the current at the bottom of a waterfall will often resemble a jet stream with a very high current. This is because the change in elevation will produce a rheological increase in power, meaning that the current at the bottom is actually guaranteed to be higher than the current at the top. Overall, you will either be poised to fall off of a cliff, or you will swim in a very powerful jet of water. These are the affordances that the area has to offer. You may go here for cliff diving, therefore this may be a recreational spot. We have shown that getting down from a waterfall is easy, and I would like to show that getting up to the top of a waterfall may be more difficult. Depending on the size of the waterfall, this may involve climbing up a cliff, or sometimes the waterfall will be located inside of a V-shaped canyon. Either way, you will have to compete with gravity on your way up the waterfall. Thanks guys, this has been Machine Pencil Cartography, signing out.